I love to think of a person coming to the campus for the first time, and their first impression is of grandiosity and majesty and beauty, and presumably they're impressed by that. And they walk closer, and there's the great statue of Eos looming up before them. But then as they're walking along, all at once they see a whale, a little statue of a whale. What's that all about, you know? And I would like to think they're either puzzled or maybe there's even a smile.
You want to walk into this space and you want to feel that there's something here much deeper than just the architecture. You start to see it as objects, large objects that you see from a long distance away, or tiny little things that you discover around a corner. The element of discovery of all of these pieces having to do with the American experiment and the history of our country, it's very important that some of it be serendipitous and some of it be more deliberate in terms of its placement.
We are in danger of losing the memory of the founding of this country. It was a unique moment in human history with a collection of political genius that was the luckiest thing that ever happened to this country. We need things that provoke the memory of what that was all about.
The Jeffersonian architecture came into the project very early on in our early discussions. We were pursuing that because it represented American architecture. It represented what Thomas Jefferson was all about when he did design buildings in his career. It's classical architecture, to go back to the Romans and the Greeks, if you will. And that's where Thomas Jefferson got his inspiration as well.
And my dad used to talk about churches and buildings at universities. And he used to say, and I think he was right, when you approach the door of a place of worship or a place where you're going to educate our kids, you ought to stand up straight. You know, your heart ought to be elevated.